what games have you watched?
I watched opening night. I didn't really watch the Boston Celtics NBA or New York Knicks game. That game is the epitome of what it takes to, if you want to win in the NBA, just follow the Celtics recipe of success. Cast up
What is that?
63s in a game, and you're probably gonna make 20. Granted, they made 29, but still, bro, they shot so many threes.
Yeah.
That's the recipe. That's the analytical game. The way the game is played now, threes worth more than two, and unless it's a great two like a layup, why waste that 15-foot range like we used to, that we grew up watching, the NBA that we grew up watching, you know?
Well, and at the NBA level, you have a lot more options of people that are effective from the 3-point line than you do at the other levels. So that's a recipe that's a lot more sustainable at that level. It's going to be interesting to see those teams because, like, I feel like New York was a team, the Knicks were a team last year that didn't shoot the three overly well. Not that they were bad, but, and they had a solid season. It'll be fun to see what they do this year, adding Cat.
I was going to say, they got Cat. I don't know. I was a little disappointed on their first game. It is ring night. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you should come out with as a road team more energy on a ring night, but
try to spoil it for them.
Yeah. Then I watched Minnesota and LA. I have my thoughts on that on those shenanigans. I kind of shared those with you. We can get into that a little bit later. I think LA as a whole, AD's got to be the guy. He's got to be the one leading the scoring every night. He's got to be the leading scorer for them to be good. They can't depend on Bron. He's too damn old. Is what it is.
What were his numbers that game? Do you remember?
36 and like 16. He went nuts.
Yeah, do you remember what Bron's were?
Bron had like 16.
Oh, really?
I think I could be very, very wrong.
Let's take a look here. I got it right here. Yeah, 16, 5, and 4.
I think Minnesota.
What have you seen from Dalton Connect? What have you seen from Connect in this first game or two? That was cool to see their final preseason game. He scored. What did he score in that final preseason game? 20 of the last 22.
Yeah, he's gonna be there scoring off the bench. I think he needs to be inserted as a sixth man, like right away. He's better. In my opinion, he is what they wanted Austin Reeves to be.
Oh, really?
He's just a better version of Austin Reeves. He's bigger. I think he could play that position for one, and he's much bigger. Can elevate a little bit more, stronger. I think he's a better player. It'll be interesting to see how his rookie year goes, though. I don't know. I think he's in a great situation, though. Honestly, bro, he's not talked about at all. He's not talked about at all.
Which is wild because between him and Bronny, he's the first round pick, that they got, and he doesn't get any shine. But that might be the best thing for him, Yeah, it might be the best thing for his rookie season where he just silently goes crazy while all the spotlight's on Bronny. Which, by the way, it sounds like he's going down to the G League.
He's gonna, after this road trip, they're gonna go back and forth with him. Yeah, they said he's gonna go back and forth. Minnesota, I think Anthony Edwards is gonna have to average 30 for them to be good, and they barely beat the Kings last night by 2, and him and Julius Randle had 65 combined, 33 and 32 respectively.
Yeah, I don't know how much that getting Julius Randle on that team makes them better. I honestly don't feel like it does make them better.
What is your whole thoughts on that? You just make conference finals and then you blow your team up.
Yeah, but like I feel like there's throughout history that's happened, like they talked about, or I was listening to, um, obviously this is a long time ago, but I was listening to Oscar Robertson's podcast with All the Smoke, like his episode, and he was saying how they had just, gone to the NBA Finals in Milwaukee, and then they blew the team up. But there's a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of examples of that. Um, I don't know if it's the GM and the owner and the coaches thinking, hey, this is kind of our ceiling. We're not going to get over the hump with this squad. We got to blow it up and start over, or what. But it is interesting.
I don't know. I would have traded Rudy, but no one's gonna take that contract.
I agree. I agree. And this is like this is my take, my kind of just out there take on Rudy Gobert. We're gonna look back after Rudy Gobert's done playing in the NBA and be like, how did he win or get the accolades that he did? That's I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. Like, how did he, for one, get the contracts that he did? Like, he was at one point one of the highest players in the NBA. But I feel like we're just gonna look back and be like, how did that happen?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I
I
don't know.
think
Maybe I'm just hating on Rudy. Sorry, Rudy.
no, he's not good. He wasn't even he got benched on Team France. How many NBA
Yeah,
like
that's
current
wild,
NBA
dude.
players were on that team? Like
It's wild.
um
Mm.
episode 50,
But
might
no,
as well
back
just
to what
welcome
you
everyone
said.
in.
Sorry.
Might as well just
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go
welcome
ahead.
everyone in real quick. It's episode 50. Big 50 50. Um yeah, it's exciting, I guess.
Beautiful,
Made it
man.
this far.
Half a century mark.
We are gonna take this slightly different direction than normal. With basketball season this year, I guess. Last season we focused a lot on the RMAC. Granted, we still will, but it's not gonna be like a heavy topic every
It's not gonna
episode.
be
It's
our
gonna be kind
focus.
of
Yeah.
it's gonna kind of come in probably third place, to be truthful. But I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm a little disconnected from it. I don't know enough. I haven't paid attention. Like my guys are gone. I have
Mm-hmm.
couple kids left at Western. I'll probably follow them. Outside of that, like, I don't know. Just not
Yeah,
as,
we're not as in the know as we used to be. We've been out of it a little bit.
mm-hmm. But we are going to be focusing more on NBA kind of, main teams, bigger team, the teams that people like to listen about, and Division One basketball because that's a hot topic now. Obviously, with Tony Bennett retiring right before the season, that probably swayed some
Right.
people the wrong way.
What
So
have you
that's kind of
heard?
the direction we're going.
Have you heard what's gone down with that? Like what the reasoning
Um,
was? I listened to his press
I just
conference a little bit, but I didn't ever hear like why he decided to do it right now.
I don't know about the right now. I think that's kind of crazy, but I thought that was actually wild. I don't know, man. I don't. Props to him. I mean, I agree with his reasonings. It's hard to coach in college now. You're essentially a GM as well as a coach, in my opinion. Um, Probably why St. Bonaventure hired Adrian Wojnarowski to kind of be in charge
Mhm.
of that kind of stuff. But
Mhm.
I haven't heard anything. I don't know.
Well, so this is what I heard from the press conference that he held after he decided to resign, and one of the things he said was just that if he didn't feel like he could dive into a season 100% committed to winning and making the team better and striving to win a championship, then it wasn't fair to the coaching staff and the players for him to do that. Obviously, that doesn't give reason or kind of background as to what led him to this decision, but I do kind of like you said, I respect that as a coach or from him as a coach of like, if I'm not going to be all in, how can I ask the players and the staff to be all in with me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know, it's really strange. Strange that happened so soon, strange that it happened the way it happened. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
turned Instagram on and I saw that and I was like, whoa. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, that's just the way college is nowadays. He's old school and he clearly and he openly admitted that, and it's just not the way it's not how he runs things. It's not what he believes in, and I mean, I respect that. It's a hard game.
Mhm. And it's a game that
What were
I
you gonna
feel
ask
like
me though?
there's, uh, I don't remember what were we talking about
There's
before
something
that?
I think we were talking about the NBA. If you
Uh,
forgot, it doesn't matter.
yeah, I can't remember. And I remember we've gone on a couple different directions, so I lost my train of thought there. The one thing I wanted to ask you is, did you watch the Nuggets game?
I didn't. I
You
only
didn't
saw
watch it?
highlights. I looked at some stats though. I'd say
That was a little
the major
shocking, man. And something that I've thought about is of like I was thinking about when I saw the final score of this Nuggets game last night is two things. I think OKC is gonna have another very strong season, just like they did last year, and be a legit contender this year. Like I think last year was kind of their coming out party and one of those moments where it's kind of that team emerging onto the scene, but they're not quite there yet to make a big run at it. I feel like that was that for the Thunder the last year in the playoffs and just their whole season,
Mhm.
but also this year, um, the additions that they made with uh oh man, who did they add? Big fella.
Hartenstein.
Yeah, Isaiah Hardenstein.
He's hurt, but he's still
But
gonna be a
still,
good
like I think that's gonna add a ton of depth for them at the big spot. And he had a great season last year with
Caruso.
the Knicks.
They have Caruso on their
Caruso,
team.
like I think they added pieces that still allows Shea and Chet to kind of be the features of it, but
Yo,
great pieces for them to expand on what they did last year. So that's a team to watch. But two, like I don't feel like Denver, unless I missed something. I just feel like Denver, after getting bounced out of the playoffs, trying to repeat as champions, I didn't feel like they made meaningful moves in the offseason.
no. I'm doing some number crunching right now. Here's something for you. God damn. Oh my god. My gosh. This is gonna be it. Remember 57. Remember that number.
Yeah.
23 plus 24 plus 13 plus 6. Jesus. Here's the difference in the game. OKC bench out was plus 57 for their the three guys that played a majority. I mean, the four guys that played
Mm-hmm.
a ton of minutes, and then Denver's four guys that played over 10 minutes off the bench minus 66.
And what they lose by 23 or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
27. Yeah, they got smacked.
So no, I don't know, the Nuggets thing that concerns me is Jamal Murray 4 of 13, like 12 points. We're watching. I don't know if he's gonna be anything else than what he's been, like what he was. I think he's done.
You don't think he
I
took a
don't know.
step up?
I don't think he's. I think he's taking steps back. I think he's regressing.
Well, and then it was really shocking to see his performance in the Olympics this summer. Like he was straight up a non-factor for Canada in the Olympics. And
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of wild to see that, especially because like I remember talking about it on an episode after watching a Canada game of kind of the realization of how many NBA guys they had. Like I would have thought Canada was right up there with France and us, to win a gold medal, but I thought they severely underperformed, and Jamal Murray was a big piece of that.
A
So that's it.
thousand
That'll be
percent.
interesting to watch with him and just with the Nuggets trying to get back to the top of the mountain. Um, what he can bring to the table for him.
All right. Topic in the NBA. Obviously, it's the burning topic. Um, Bronny James Jr.
What
Thoughts?
about it? My
Thoughts?
thoughts? Well, I think we we mentioned it. You know, him. This is what I was thinking about earlier. Is I think everybody knew Bronny wasn't quite ready to be on an NBA roster yet, and everybody knows LeBron is very close to being done whenever he decides to be. Saying things like, I don't feel like I have other things to accomplish in this game and all that
This could
type
be
of
his last
stuff.
year.
Yeah, like this is what I think happened, based on all of those things. LeBron knew it, JJ Redick knew it, everybody in the NBA and in the basketball world knew Bronny James was not good enough yet. But I bet Bron was like, oh, your mom
Go
popped
ahead.
in now.
I'm hearing you. I'm
You're
still
good.
hearing you.
I bet Bron said, "Look, this is my probably one of my only chances to get on an NBA
Mm-hmm.
court with my son. Let it happen
Yep.
for the first couple games. Send him down to the G League where he probably needs to be, and then we can, call it a day." That's what I think.
I agree. Um, I'm in agreement. I, he's a 4-year college basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
3-year minimum. 3-year minimum. I'm sorry, but it's just it's. Uh, Call me salty, call me a hater, whatever. But I don't think it. I think what his dad was just getting the photo op. I think that's what it was boiled down to.
Oh,
I
I think
think
that's yeah.
I can see why. I can see it, but like, dude, come on. Like, if you really care, like, you can't sit there and there's no way he could sit there across the table from me and detail out, tell me his son's ready for the NBA. And I could walk
Yeah.
away and I could walk away feeling much better. There's no way. There's absolutely no chance that you can convince me that he is ready for the NBA right now. And it's not his fault. Like there's people in his corner that were
Yeah. And I want people to know before you keep going, that's not hate. That's just like we're not hating on him. That's just real. Like he's just not quite ready right. And that's okay.
I just oh my god, man. It's there's so many other basketball players out there that are ready, better, but the
And
situation is the
here's
situation. But I guess my point being it sucks for him. It sucks for him because I don't know how this development's gonna go with him in the G League. Hopefully it goes good. Like you I don't want total hate on a kid, but or failure, but I just don't know how well that is just so much pressure right away. And it
yeah, but
looked
he's
so
gonna I
awkward.
mean, even though it's Browning, it's
Did
still the
you
G League and like
Yeah.
he's not gonna have the media attention. He's not gonna have all
Yeah.
this, so I think honestly, ultimately it will be good because he'll just
I
be able to
bet
hoop
you
a little bit.
I bet you his first G League game is on TV. I bet you
I'm
you can
sure.
find it.
I'm sure it will be.
I bet you'll find his G League games on TV.
Here's my thing. Is it fair to, like you said, these players that probably are ready to be, these other young players that are ready to be on an NBA roster, that Bronny, who's probably not ready, that he gets on an NBA roster for the first few games? No, it's not fair, like, by any
Mm-hmm.
means. And I'm not going to sit here and argue that it is. I just think, ultimately, like, I truly believe this. I think Bronny he will sniff the NBA at some point in a legitimate role, whether it's a role player, whether it's otherwise. I don't know what it's going to be. I think he will get to that point, however long that career ends up being. I just think it was ultimately, like, for one, for some publicity, like having Bronny and his dad obviously and on the same NBA floor. But it was kind of just, I guess it was just inevitable. Like with everything that's happened with
Mm-hmm.
Bronny getting drafted and all that stuff, it was just inevitable to me that was gonna.
It my only complaint, here's my complaint, is the Lakers came out and said that they wanted it to be natural, right? They want this to
Yeah,
be a
that's true.
natural thing, flow of the game. Bro, if you want it to be natural, don't tell us you're gonna sub the kid in
uh,
like for 3 minutes. That's
yeah,
the thing. For 3 minutes, three. That just, I would have much rather it been midway through the season and he could have got 18, 20 minutes, ready to
mm,
go, like ready to play. Let me see Brown, let me see that. But this just felt like it was,
it was
let's
forced
hurry
for
up and
sure.
do it.
It was
Let's
forced.
just do
Yeah,
it. And I don't know. I think it would have been, they subbed them in together. I think it would have been pretty cool for Bronny to sub in with his dad already on the court type stuff. That would have been cool to me,
yeah,
but I get the optics of the whole thing. In my personal opinion, I wish that it could have been halfway through the season, maybe after All-Star break or before All-Star break, right before it. That way you could get him 20 minutes. You can't,
yeah.
like, come on, bro. 23 minutes. We're going to do a 3-minute run and then say, see, sit down the rest of the game at the very end of the bench. And, like, bro.
Oh, yeah. It was. I mean, all of these points you're making are extremely accurate. Like it was forced
Um,
big time. But I'm sure TV ratings were through the roof that night because everyone wanted to see Brown and
oh,
Bronny
God,
on the
yeah.
court together.
Absolutely.
So, like,
Um,
it was a success for what they were trying to accomplish.
yeah. Next thing I wanted to touch on NBA wise, yeah, I know you probably saw me go off on social media a little bit about this, but the whole Jason Tatum thing again, my God, him and Jalen Brown. Oh, I'm mad for. I texted him, I'm mad for you, bro. Like about the Olympics thing. Like we're still talking about this. Are you serious? I get it, but where was these minutes gonna come from? So I got in an argument on Instagram with someone, and they said, well, they listed off all his stats in the season, and I listed off his Olympic stats. They were booty. Like they were not good. And he came
Mhm.
back with, well, if you're not gonna, if you know you're not gonna play a lot, and you don't feel wanted, you're not gonna uh be well. I was like, well, wasn't he starting in the first exhibition game and the second exhibition game, and weren't those
He
games like
did. He did
extremely
get
close?
his. Yeah, he did get his opportunities. Before
So
the
I
Olympics
mean, to sit
started.
here and yeah, granted, KD was hurt, but that was his chance to like, that was his chance, and
Mhm.
he didn't prove anything. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's, to me it just seemed like it just seems like a bunch of entitled ass middle schoolers that were mad that coach didn't give them the minutes that were promised upon them when they didn't
Yeah.
perform. Like,
No, I mean, I think it shows now, and this is not to say that Jason Tatum isn't a top tier NBA player. I just think it goes to show that there's kind of levels to this. You ain't KD, man. You're not
you're not
Steph.
KD.
You're not LeBron. And again, that is not a knock on Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is an all-world player in his own right.
You know
But
what
as
was
we've
tough
said
about
many times before, there's levels to this
mm-hmm,
shit, and he ain't
absolutely.
on their level.
You know, it was tough. And then this kid tried to say, and Ant and Book played more than him. Are you kidding me? I said, tell me you don't know. That tells me you don't know the true meaning of basketball. Devin Booker and Anthony Davis are completely different positions, completely different. That's a 1
Hmm.
and a 2 you're talking about. Jason Tatum's maybe a 3, 4,
He's a
5,
three. He's a
3 or 4. You could put him maybe at the 4 spot if you wanted
they.
to,
I
smaller
mean,
lineup.
you could,
And
but they ain't
so
gonna do that.
my thing is this: you're gonna say he's playing over KD? Hell no. You, no. AD? No. He's not going to play over those two guys. AD can fluctuate from 4 or 5. You know, there was no tick. And LeBron's a 3-4. Like, where's those minutes coming from? That's the
Well,
thing.
and to your point, there are a lot of those guys, and I'll say this: Jason Tatum can play the two as well. You know, like if you want to go with a big lineup, or you're switching things up, whatever. But Jason Tatum, I think for the most part on an NBA floor, he's going to be at that three spot. And so he's kind of
mm-hmm.
pigeonholed to that one spot where Anthony Edwards can play the two and the three. Like you said, Bam can play the four and the five. AD can play the four and the five. Whoever else, you throw in there, there's guys that they can kind of manufacture minutes by being thrown on the floor for a different role. And where Jason
Mm-hmm.
Tatum, like, I feel like all this has been Jason Tatum from Duke all the way till now is he's a scorer. That's what Jason Tatum does. You don't
Yeah.
really know him for his defense. You don't know him for his playmaking. You know him for scoring. And quite frankly, Team USA wasn't hurting for scoring in the Olympics. They were needing
No.
defensive stoppers and they were needing versatile guys that can guard multiple positions.
They needed a guy like Devin Booker, stand in the corner, shoot threes, play some deep, guard the best players. That's what
Mm-hmm.
Devin Booker did, and that's why he saw the court. Why did
As
Drew Holiday see the
exactly
court?
Exactly
Why did Drew Holiday
what I
see the
was just
court?
gonna say. Yeah.
Why
Like,
didn't Anthony Edwards see the court in big games? Right?
well,
He
but
wasn't
like
defending.
I think it goes back to, or it goes to what I was just about to say is maybe Jason Tatum wasn't willing to fulfill a role that was being asked of him and where Devin Booker and Anthony Edwards and Drew Holiday were. And so
Mm-hmm.
just like on any team, if a role is being asked of you and you are fulfilling that role, they're going to find somebody to fulfill that role.
Yep, I agree. Um,
No, but to your point, that whole thing is played out. Like, that was 2 months ago.
drop it, let it
Y'all need
go.
to let it
Y'all ever heard
rest.
the song "Let It Go"? Listen to it.
Give it a
Like, my
listen
God.
right now.
Um, I don't know, dude. I really don't know a whole lot because what else to talk about? Because like we talked about, I came into this to kind of just short, sweet, let everyone know, like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. Almost like a reset button.
Yeah. One thing I
Not
want
like
to
we're not
do
dropping the
is,
RMAC, but
yeah, not at all. And yeah, I know we have some people that like the RMAC and that's kind of their thing and that's cool. And we will cover it as much as we can and we feel good about. But like you said, we're not as schooled and we're not as in the know and the RMAC stuff as we were in the
mm-hmm.
past couple years, and um, that's all right. We'll cover it as much as we can and as
Absolutely.
much as we feel like. But we just want to talk about
Um,
hoops. But I want to do something, Bush, moving forward. We're not doing it today, but where we make some type of predictions on a weekly basis. Whether it's wins, losses, whether it's money line stuff, whatever we want to do, but we come up with a few predictions throughout the year.
like
Um,
individual, like we just come up with ourselves, like, hey, this is what we think's gonna happen. Like just a random, like
Yeah, and it can be, like we can um tell
I
each
mean, I'm
other
cool with
about them
that.
or not tell each other about them,
Nah,
and just kind of
keep that one a
surprise
surprise.
each other. Okay,
Keep that a
that's
surprise,
fine. But yeah, I
'cause
want to do that to where it's just we have something to kind of keep track of throughout this NBA season to keep us on our toes a little bit.
I like that. Um, my blazing hot take that's probably not a hot take is this is the last time you will see LeBron James in a basketball uniform.
This season,
Yep.
I might
Yep.
cry if that happens, man. I'm not even gonna lie
I
to you.
won't.
I know you won't
Not
because
me.
you've. I think
It's not
Bush
like
have
I
said
won't.
this to you
It's not like I
before.
won't rejoice in the moment, but it's not like I won't rejoice in that moment, but
I
I'm not
think
gonna be
you're gonna
sad.
be a guy, Bush, that in 10 to 15 years from now, you're going to um
Be
you're
spreading
going
Kobe's
to,
gospel. Yes.
well, certainly that, but you're also going to realize the opportunity you missed to enjoy the GOAT while he was playing. And that's
It's
LeGoat
not the
James,
skill
I mean.
thing. It's the antics. It's the bullshit.
And that's
It's
fine.
the
But you'll realize how
it's the
good we had it
trailer
in
of
this era,
it's the
man.
trailer he pulls behind of unwanted things that it's just like, bro, stop.
We'll see. We'll talk in 10 years or we'll come back to this clip right here.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a good
But yeah, no,
prediction. That's
that's
a good
all.
one to kick us off.
Absolutely. That one was just on top of my head. Been thinking about that one. But yeah, no, that's all I got. Boys are playing the senior night football game up block away, so I'm gonna go watch them play. They're playing Bighorn.
Nice, dude.
Might We'll see how that goes.
Bighorn's usually pretty good,
We'll
aren't
see
they?
how that goes. Yeah. Here's my thing.
Well,
This is what I was gonna. I had a thing real quick, and this is my rant. Wyoming needs to do a relegation system. We don't have to discuss this in topics. I do need to go, but Wyoming needs to have a relegation system because there's no reason that my kids should be playing a full ass 50-man roster from Bighorn when we have 22 kids. That's complete BS, and I think the state of Wyoming needs to fix that because that's crazy. There's no reason Cheyenne South should be in 4A football when they're getting beat 75 to nothing. Move
yeah,
them
man,
down.
they ain't
Move them
scoring.
down.
They ain't even scoring
Help the kids out.
touchdowns.
Make this for the kids. Don't make this about population in the school. Make this about competitiveness. But
Yeah,
that's
I feel
my
that.
take.
I respect that.
That's my take. But we can end
Thank
it
you
on
for
that.
that.
You're
Kitchen
welcome.
Hood.
Peace out.
Peace.